Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to my channel, Glorious Truths Untold. Please note the website address, which is currently under construction. The subject for our contemplation and meditation today is Christ's complete atonement, part 2. In my last video, I did an overview of parts 1 and 2 on the three phases of the plan of salvation from the sanctuary perspective. And I covered Christ's atoning work in the outer court and the first apartment of the sanctuary. If you have not yet watched that video, it would be a good idea to do so before watching this one, as I will be continuing on with an overview of the third phase of that three-part series. Overview of phase 3 of the plan of salvation, which is the point at which I stopped in the last video. At God's appointed time, Christ's atoning work transferred from the first to the second apartment of the heavenly sanctuary. The sanctuary in heaven is a true covenant sanctuary, and the atoning work of Christ in the second apartment is Christ's judicial atonement or high priestly atonement. This is a time when the investigative judgment occurs to determine who among the professed people of God are really serving Him. At this time, names will be accepted and names will be rejected. So it is a very solemn time for the people of God. And in the type, on the Day of Atonement, God's people afflicted their souls, fasted and prayed, and did no servile work in the hope of a successful Yom Kippur. Judaism represented the foundation phase, Christianity the structure, and Adventism, which is where we are now, represents the investigative judgment and the perfection of the saints, which is the third and final phase of Christ's work of atonement on man's behalf. The living sanctuary is a temple of God, not made with hands, which Christ has been raising up for centuries. Among those to be accepted during the investigative judgment will be the living sanctuary of God, 144,000 in number. See 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 7. During this time, they are being gathered out of every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. They, as well as the sanctuary in heaven, will receive a higher cleansing than the great multitude to fit them for their role as God's body. As Jesus cleanses the place, He, by His Spirit, is cleansing, purifying, and making them white. Since atonement is by the sprinkling of blood, and the blood is the very life of God, the Spirit of love, of which the blood is symbolic, will be sprinkled or shed abroad in their hearts to make an atonement for their sins. The book of nature is one of God's lesson books. And nature teaches us that there are three successive steps. Step 3, which is where we are now in the process, is the full corn in the ear. As to the corn, it is the fruit as to the fruit tree, and it is the hen as to poultry. This illustrates that the plan of salvation, which contemplates a complete recovery from sin, is a continued operation, and that the work is progressive and is being conducted by the means of the slow evolutionary process of natural law. Final statements and closing remarks. We have reached the end of my overview of the three phases of the plan of salvation, which provides a comprehensive picture of the work of the Father and His Son to bring man back into favor with God. In my next set of videos, I will go on to look at the plan of salvation according to the law. In presenting the legal framework, the intention is to show that sin is not a light matter. In order to be able to fully appreciate something, there must be a just realization of what that thing cost. It cost the Father and His Son their life, which is everything, in order to save mankind. The Holy Spirit is the life of God. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and I hope to see you again soon.